Hi, it's Ali.art3 and welcome to today's video. So, for starters, as you can see today, I'm cosplaying Luca for Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And after this video is filmed, content of her will be made. Anyways, so what you're all actually here for is the topic of the video, which is, so you want to be a cosplayer and my beginner tips. So, I don't really know if I'm the best person to be giving this video since I'm still kind of a baby cosplayer myself. I only started posting cosplay content online in like 2020. So it's been 4 years. Let's see what I've learned in 4 years. And if you have any tips for baby cosplayers, put them down in the comments. It's always good to share and to learn from each other. So today's video is going to be broken up in like sections of different topics that I have learned stuff in. So on to the video. So first of all, we're going to talk about buying and getting your cosplays and what's the best way to do it. So first of all, your budget. You need to have a budget. So personally, what I try to do is you need to have a set amount of money that you're willing to spend on cosplays. This could be in general, or depending on how you're getting this money, it could be like, I'm never spending more than $30 on a cosplay. Budgeting is just really important because, you know, while cosplaying is fun and it's important to all of us, you don't want to be taking money that you need for other things like paying your rent or getting food or getting water or healthcare. You don't want to be spending that money on cosplay. Because again, for majority of us, cosplay is a hobby. We're not getting income from it. So, and if you are getting income from it, that's great. I wish I was you. But, you know, so you don't want to be spending loads and loads of money on your cosplays, money that you need for other things. So that's just like, you know, the ground level tip. The next one is be a cosplay rewearer. So there's like a big thing, I feel like, in the cosplay community where it's like, you can't rewear a cosplay. Yes, you can. And you're wasting a lot of money and also just hard work, especially if it's cosplay that you made. You're just wasting a lot by not rewearing your cosplays. And there's nothing wrong with rewearing cosplays. I rewear a lot of my cosplays, and honestly, it's kind of dumb not to. You spent money on it, you might have spent time on it, and you can, if a cosplay isn't up to your standards of today, you could always remake the cosplay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you don't need a new cosplay for every single convention or every single photo shoot. It's also fun for your followers, your fans, to get to see the characters that they love again and again and get to see how you improve those characters over time. I know that my followers really love Mitsuri, but in recent, you guys have really loved Mikan, so she'll be coming back. But yeah, so rewear your cosplays. Don't need a new cosplay for every convention. I used to be in that mindset of every single convention. I'd be like, oh my god, I need a new cosplay. Like, I need something new. I need to make something new. And it was very stressful because a lot of the times, you know, the deadline would be very soon. And you just sometimes got to take a step back and be like, I can rewear that cosplay. It's not the end of the world. Okay. Take advantage of all your sale days. Amazon Prime Day is coming up, guys. It's the 16th and the 17th, and you better bet I'm going to be on there buying loads and loads of cosplay stuff because they have really good deals on cosplays for Amazon Prime Day. Last Amazon Prime Day, I got a Sonya cosplay from Danganronpa for $9, the costume. Then the wig, I don't remember how much it was, but I remember like all of it was like what you'd usually spend on a cosplay. I got my Maki Zenin cosplay for $18. The costume part was bought separately. Also days like Black Friday, or anytime there's a sale, just go on whatever site it is, look at the cosplays, see if there's anything you want. And when I say you want, I don't mean just buy it because it's on sale. Buy it because you want it, and it's a character you love, or it's a media you love, and you're gonna get use out of it. Because there's no point in buying something because it's just on sale, or just to buy it. That's really dumb. So don't do that, stay away from that. And also try to know your prices. So, I know, you might look at a cosplay and be like, oh my goodness, it's only $20. But look at other listings of that cosplay. Because if it's all the way, if the cosplay is only $25, it's not a great sale. If you still really want that cosplay, go for it. But if you are specifically like, well, I like the character, but this wouldn't be my first option, maybe look elsewhere or look for other characters first that you're more interested in. Yeah. And I'm just putting this out there. Everyone manifest that on Amazon Prime Day, there's an Ai Hoshino cosplay, because I need it for Halloween, and I don't want to have to make Ai Hoshino and Heather Chandler at the same time. Sorry, I'm like, these bangs are like in my face. Anyone that's ever had like bangs with a bunch of hairspray in them in your face, it's painful. Anyways, okay, so yeah, and also let's manifest a needy streamer overload cosplay Amazon Prime Day. Come on guys. Okay. Always read reviews. I don't care where you're buying your cosplay from. Read the reviews. If it's Amazon, read the reviews on the actual product. If it's a company, if there's not reviews on each product, read reviews of the company, because you don't want to buy a cosplay just for it to come and it be horrible and not unwearable, and then you wasted this money, and there might be fees to ship it back. You might not be able to ship it back. It's just a pain, and we don't want that. So don't buy something without reading reviews. If there are no reviews, you can take your chances. I'll usually only take my chances if it's on Amazon and it's free returns. Otherwise, look for a different product. It's not worth it. Okay. Don't be scared to ask your friends and mutuals. So, if there's a character you really want to cosplay, or maybe you need a cosplay because, I don't know, you're going to a convention and there's a Demon Slayer meetup and you really want to go because you love Demon Slayer, but you can't really buy a Demon Slayer cosplay right now, or if you're in a collab and you don't have the money to buy it, ask your friends and mutuals if they have something that they'd be willing to lend to you. I've had before where mutuals are even like, oh yeah, like I'd be willing to sell it to you really cheap, or they're like, I don't even like it anymore, just take it, it's yours. So yeah, I would definitely say, ask around. Some people are very willing to share their cosplays, but remember, it's valid for people to not want to share their cosplays. Personally, I don't share my cosplays. It's like, they're my babies. A lot of these I worked on, I made a part of, and I don't feel comfortable with other people wearing them, because if something happens to it when I'm wearing it, that's one thing, because it's in my responsibility. But I don't want someone else wearing it. So remember though, if somebody says no, it's okay. That's very valid. Not everyone's gonna let you do that with their cosplays, but it can't hurt to ask. That also goes with even small bits of cosplays, like, oh, I can get the whole costume, but I can't get the wig. See if your friend has the wig. And also, along with that, if you have cosplays that you don't want anymore, try to sell them, try to get rid of it, because it's not doing you any good by just sitting around not being worn. Reuse parts of your cosplays. I can't stress this enough. Okay, if you cosplay Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club, if you cosplay Toga Himiko from My Hero Academia, you don't need 2 different blue skirts, okay? one blue skirt can be used for both. I especially use the same, the same socks. Even if there's a little tiny detail on the socks, like for the Danganronpa socks, Chihiro Fujisaki, they have the little, I don't know, there's a little symbol on their sock. It's not that noticeable of a detail. I wear the same socks that I wear for my Hero Academia, school uniform cosplay. Just to reuse the bits. And before you try to, before you're like, oh no, I need a new whatever, or I need this for this cosplay, look at the cosplays that you own and see if a character you already cosplay wears that. Because if they do, bingo, you have it. So that's definitely, just try to reuse as much as you can. You don't want to be wasting money on something that you have, or you have something that's close enough. Okay, now I fully did not understand what I was saying here. Okay, use what you have. This is different from the previous one. So, what I mean is, look at what you own. This could be things from cosplays or things just that you have in general in your closet. For instance, right now what I'm wearing, Lukua, the tank, the shorts, and the thigh-high socks, and even her sneakers, I just owned. And I love Dragon Maid. I love Lukua as a character before they absolutely butchered her, but we could make a whole other video on that. And I found the wig on Amazon for really cheap, and I was just like, you know what? Let's cosplay Lukua. There's no reason not to cosplay Lukua. So if you realize that there's a character from something that you like, and I just dropped the paper. Paper drop count 1. If you realize that you have a lot of the stuff to cosplay a character from a media that you like, see if you can find the pieces that you're missing. This hat was super cheap. I just painted then this part pink and built on the horns. So, just see what you have. It's really good to, not have to spend loads and loads of money on cosplays. But, big but, there's no, this doesn't mean that it's oh wow, look, I have all the stuff to cosplay. I don't know. A character from Attack on Titan. I've never watched Attack on Titan, guys. I don't know. But like I said, I never watched Attack on Titan. I don't enjoy it. If I had all the stuff to cosplay a character, it would not be worth it to me to get those last remaining things I need to cosplay it, because I don't even like it. That's just a big waste. So yeah, just keep in mind, cosplay what you like. That's a big thing. Alter old clothes. This is a big one. So if you have clothes that you don't really use anymore, and if they could be useful in your cosplay, use them. Don't go buying things when you have something that you could alter. Again, this is if you feel comfortable altering clothes, if you have sewing experience. That's a big part of it before you, go in and do it. But that's definitely a thing to take into consideration. Personally, also just ask around other people's old clothes. Personally, I take a lot of my dad's old button-up shirts for work, and I'll cut the collars off, stuff like that, so I could use them for my cosplays. Also, you could use old fabric, even if it's oh, look, I have this old blue shirt that I don't want. You don't have to use it as a shirt. You could take the fabric and make something else out of it. Don't shy away from a project. Put it off for when you are better. So I used to do this a lot, where I'd be oh, I really want to cosplay this character, but I'm not skilled enough yet to make the cosplay. Don't do that. Because the truth of the matter is, you're never gonna feel like you're skilled enough to make that cosplay. So just make the cosplay. You could always remake it down the road if you learn new things. Or you can always buy the cosplay and then make a version of it once you feel comfortable. But just don't put off dream cosplays of yours because you feel like you're not good enough, because you are good enough. Okay, our next topic of conversation is makeup and hair. Okay, so first I'm gonna just talk about some products I recommend. I recommend Got to Be Glued, both the hairspray and the like gel glue for your wigs. I did these bangs with Got to Be Glued. I'm just gonna like come a little closer to the camera, show you guys how like, look how much in place it is. See? So Got to Be Glued is great. It literally glues your wigs, like seals them. Especially the hair glue. I did not, like the gel, I didn't use that on this. Like I used that on my Junko wig. That thing is hard as a rock. It makes it so that your wigs won't get destroyed as much at conventions. It makes it easier to do like unnatural things with the hair, like this little bang of Luca's or her like little curls at the front. And it holds it all into place very, very well. The other products I would recommend, just Maron in general. We're gonna talk about stage makeup after this, but Maron for your makeup, Maron for your spirit glue. So Maron is a stage makeup brand that they have now branched into cosplay stuff. I think like in 2020 it started, once cosplay started becoming really popular, and you know, in 2020 there was a lot more people cosplaying than in shows because COVID. So yeah, but Maron is great. I also recommend Maron for your setting powder. It's just really, really great. So I'm just gonna go into the next thing because there's no point in me talking about this twice. So look into stage makeup. Maron is stage makeup. So you especially, actually, like the next like 2 points about this. So if you want to do full face makeup for photo shoots, I personally don't, but anyway, look even more into stage makeup and look up videos on how to apply it. So again, Maron is stage makeup. So the difference between stage makeup and street makeup, again, I'm just gonna put this out there. I was in a very well-known theater school. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because I don't want anyone stalking me, but I was in a theater school, so I was trained in this. You know, I dabbled in it. I had to do my own makeup for every single show, so I think I know my fair share. Anyway, so the difference is that especially when you're doing photo shoots, we all want good lighting. But the thing about lighting, especially if you're using a ring light, and if you have the brightness put all the way up, because you know you want it really bright, with no makeup or regular makeup, you can get washed out. And we don't want that. We want to see your beautiful face. So stage makeup is not going to wash you out. It's going to prevent you from being washed out. So that's why I'd really heavily recommend it. But make sure that you know how to apply it. There's so many videos on YouTube about how to apply it. It's pretty simple. Some parts you apply it like straight makeup, but some parts are very, very different. It's very dramatized. Again, you don't have to do it to that extent, but I would not recommend doing your makeup like that for conventions. You will look ridiculous. Yeah, you can still use the products, but don't apply it like stage makeup for conventions. For conventions, either apply it like regular makeup, use straight makeup, whatever is most comfortable. Okay, if you are like me and if your skin's really sensitive to makeup, or you just hate the sensory sensation of putting it on, how about, I'm gonna teach, okay, I don't know how I was gonna say this. Okay, I'm going to teach you something very important so this is what we call the T-zone. So I don't know about you guys, but when I was in elementary school, there was signs like in every single classroom that was like, don't touch your T-zone, because touching your T-zone gets you sick. So your T-zone is your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. And basically, if you don't want to put on a lot of makeup, but you still want to pop and you still want it to be recognizable as a character, I'm going to get closer to this so you guys can see. What you want to do is focus on your eyes, your nose, and also like your cheek area. So it's not really a good T, but you get the point, and your lips. So eyes, if you want to put eyeshadow on, or especially eyeliner, is a big help. So for Luqua specifically, let me show you. If you close the eyes, because we all know Luqua, she walks around with her eyes closed somehow. You can see I did her eyeliner so that the eyes pop out more, and also so it's dramatized when I close my eyes for some of the pictures. For nose, so for Luqua, I didn't do a lot of blush on my nose because she doesn't have a lot of blush on her nose. She has a lot on her cheeks. So that depends on the character. And lips. If you want your lips to pop for the photos, make them shiny or make them a different color, whatever. But yeah, so if you don't like doing a lot of makeup, your T-zone's definitely the way to go. It still makes everything pop, but doesn't take as much time, and it's more comfortable. It's easier to get off. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I have like this list, and I'm not wearing my glasses, and as all of you can see, look, I can't see anything. So this is really difficult. Okay. There's wig style tutorials online for most characters. So if you're like completely lost with wig styling, but you want to style your wigs, which by the way, if you're not going to style your wigs, that's perfectly okay. But don't wear them right out of the bag because they're going to look very matted. So just take it out, put it on a wig head, and just at least comb it, and you'll be good to go. But if you do want to style your wigs, there is tutorials on YouTube for basically any character that you could think of. So if you're completely lost, go on YouTube, look it up. A lot of them use fancy equipment. So if that's equipment that you don't have, you know, you could figure it out, substitute things. But it's a great way to go if you want, you know, a little bit of help of how to learn it. Okay. Bring a brush to conventions. This is a mistake I made with my Mekon wig. I really have to detangle her. Anyway, so if you're wearing a long wig, like I'm going to be at Anitomo. By the way, speaking of Anitomo, I will be at Anitomo on the 20th cosplaying Luqua. So if you want to see Luqua in person, go to Anitomo, find me, say hi if you see me. Yeah. Okay, anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Okay, so you want to bring a brush. When I cosplayed Mekon at PucheCon NJ, I did not bring a brush, and she's very, very matted now. So, you know, it's very, very important to bring a brush. You don't want to get that tangled. Now, if you are tangled, show shine. I think that's what it's called. This is gonna be really interesting. It's horse spray. It's the tangler for horses' manes. You're probably like, Allie, I'm not putting that in my wig. But you should, because it will detangle it. I personally have not tried it yet, but I bought it. I'm gonna try that on my Mekon wig. I'll update you guys on my Instagram story about if that works or not. But yeah, so I've heard though it's very effective, but then it makes everything very slippery, so be careful. But yeah, so that's a big thing to be aware of. Okay, don't be afraid to use your real hair. So for cosplay, okay, so personally I like the hair to be accurate. So even if I don't prefer really wearing wigs, which is the truth, I'm gonna get a wig if my hair doesn't look accurate. But for characters that my hair does look accurate, like your Forger, she's like my twin, my anime twin. I'll just style my natural hair, and like I don't have bangs, but she does, so I just get fake clip-on bangs and it looks good. So yeah, don't be afraid to use your real hair. And that brings me to my next point. It's okay to not use wigs or makeup. So if you don't feel comfortable doing any makeup, that's okay. Don't do makeup. If you don't feel comfortable wearing wigs, even if your hair is not naturally looking like the character, that's okay. Just don't wear a wig. It's not a big deal. You're still just as much of a cosplayer if you do wigs and makeup or whatever. And if anyone tells you differently, they suck, okay? Next up, our next topic is posting and social media. So my first one is have a posting schedule. I don't think a lot of people have, Actually, I think a lot of people have this. That's a lie. I don't see a lot of people following it strictly. I sometimes don't follow mine strictly. But basically what a posting schedule does is if your posting is very consistent, so the Instagram will, the algorithm of Instagram and other apps, they'll like you more and they will push you to your followers out more at the same time every single day. So personally, it's very hard for me to do that. So I like have a time frame. So I'll usually post anywhere from like 10:30 to 12 usually is like where I try to. It was really easy when I was still in school because I would do it during my lunch. So it was always like 10:30 to 11:15, something's being posted. Sorry, my dog is very angry. Somebody's walking outside. This happens about like, I don't know, many times a day. Once we're in the studio and we're in the basement, this won't happen as much. Okay, I completely lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Okay, posting schedule. Okay, he's gonna bark over me. I'm sorry. Let's wait. Oh, now he's barking because somebody's car is moving. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Marsh! We're filming a video here. Quiet on set. That made him more angry. Okay. We're gonna try to continue and hope he doesn't bark over me. Okay? I didn't even get to start talking again. Can you guys believe this? Anyway, okay. He laid back down, so maybe we're in the clear. Okay. Anyways, so back to the posting schedule thing. So your posting schedule, it doesn't have to be every day. Personally, I like to post every day, but you want to be consistent. So it could be once a week. It could be once a month. But you don't want to be one of those cosplayers that like makes content and like then you post all your content at once and then you leave for months and then randomly you're making content again. You don't want that. So try not to double post. What that means is try not to post twice in a day. Sometimes I do this, especially if I'm very backed up on my posting, but why you don't want to do this is it's likely that your followers are only going to see one of the two posts. So both your posts are not going to do well. And yeah, so just try to post one time a day. Post pictures as individual posts instead of doing like the carousel multiple picture feature. So the reasoning for this is that when you do like multiple posts, sorry, I'm like back on the thing. Okay, when you do multiple pictures in one post, majority of people do not swipe through them all. And you can make more content the other way. But if you do want to do the carousel, on the other sides, put things like memes of the character or the media, funny pictures of the characters from the media, whatever. Because it will get people to also interact more. I've had times when people like will share the meme I put in it, but not share the cosplay. But it still puts a share on your post, meaning more people will see it. So be smart about the tags you use. So if you are like putting so many tags, like, okay, I'm cosplaying from Dragon Maid, right? If I cosplay Toru Dragon Maid, if I tag Toru Dragon Maid, people who are looking for Toru stuff, they're gonna, go on their Toru tag and look what's gonna pop up. And they're gonna be like, I want a Toru, I didn't want Lukawa. And they're not gonna interact with your post, which means that someone's viewing your post and not interacting with it, which is bad for the algorithm. So only use tags that actually have to do with your post. Support other cosplayers. I can't stress this enough. Like other cosplayers' stuff, follow other cosplayers, and comment on other cosplayers. Also save their posts, share their posts, because it's a great way to make cosplay friends, make mutuals, but it's also a great way. If you're nice to somebody, they'll be nice back. And you can also do stuff with your cosplay friends, like do a share for share, like for like, stuff like that, comment for comment. But I've also had before, like I commented on a cosplayer's post just because I really liked their cosplay. And I was like, wow, I just really love this person's work. And they commented back. We had a nice little conversation in their comments. I followed them like right after I saw the post and they followed me back. So see, just being nice, it can benefit you. But don't do it to benefit you. Do it to be nice. Okay. This is an annoying one, but you have to make reels. Especially on Instagram, if you want to get by, the new thing is reels, and you have to make them. So the way that, so now I'm gonna give you some like tips for reels that personally really helps me get interactions. And even though people don't see the post because of the cosplay, then they're like, whoa, that's a really cool cosplay, and they follow me. So, so make interactive content that sparks curiosity or asks questions to viewers. The big thing here is people love talking about themselves. And they also love hearing about themselves. So, 2 examples is, okay, so my reel that like blew up on Instagram was, my like, comment and I'll tell you which Vocaloid you are based on your profile picture. See, people love hearing about themselves. So many comments on that. I still haven't gotten to comment back to everyone. I'm so sorry. People just keep commenting. It's getting very overwhelming. But anyways, so how that works is many people then like saw the reel, and they were like, ooh, I'm curious. So they commented. And then some people were like, I love your cosplay, and they followed me because of that. And some people then I was like, this character, or I was like, oh my god, I love your Sailor Moon profile picture. And it made a connection. And then they followed me. I even made new mutuals through this because, conversations started there. I had someone like ask, oh, like, I know nothing about Vocaloid, but who, like, whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm getting Kaito from your profile picture. This person then listened to the music. I was like, DM'd me and said, I love this, like, whatever. And now we're mutuals. So, things like that work. But also, they love to talk about themselves, people. So, I made a post, a Mikan reel, that was like, come in and like claim your Danganronpa character. And so many people, not as much as the Vocaloid one, but so many people were like commenting like just like with their favorite characters because people love talking about themselves. Okay, don't let the internet choose what you cosplay. This is a big one. So it's always fun to like ask your followers like, what cosplays would you like to see? But you're not obligated to do what they say, and you have to cosplay what's fun for you. So I had so many people asking me like, will you cosplay like Hazbin Hotel? I have no interest in Hazbin Hotel. I'm not gonna cosplay Hazbin Hotel. I don't care how popular it is. I don't care how many people would draw to my account. So yeah, and also that goes with just because something's popular doesn't mean you have to cosplay from it. And later on in the video, we're gonna talk about that it's okay to cosplay from media that's not popular and has no demand. So our next thing is convention tips. So we all love conventions, right? Or maybe we don't, but whatever. So I love conventions. So first of all, that brings us to our first point. You don't have to go to conventions. You are still a cosplayer, even if you don't go to conventions. I feel like there's a big push in the cosplay community of you have to go to conventions, like you have to show off your work, and you absolutely do not. If you like to, that's great. Personally, I love conventions. But it's not for everyone. Ow, I just hit my elbow. Okay, anyway, it's not for everyone. And if it's not for you, that's okay. There's plenty of other ways that you can cosplay and get photo shoots not going to conventions. Wait guys, I just skipped like an entire thing. Okay, we'll go back. Don't con crunch. Con crunching is the most stressful, bad thing you can do. The closest I've gotten to a con crunch is I made my entire Gumi cosplay within the 2 weeks before Miku Expo. Most stressful thing of my life, never again. Don't do it. Your cosplay's not gonna come out as great as you want it to, and you're just gonna be stressed, and it's not gonna make the cosplay fun. You're gonna tie bad memories to the cosplay. So just don't do it. Be aware of your surroundings and be safe. If you see something suspicious, get out of that area. Go to security if you have to. You just always have to be aware of what's going on around you because you don't want to get stuck in a bad situation. Especially with cosplay, you have to be really careful because cosplay is not consent, but a lot of people do think it is, especially if you're cosplaying characters that just very revealing or are just highly sexualized characters. You might run into a problem. So just be careful. So stay with people at all times. I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't have friends to cosplay with, but you don't want to be by yourself. It's very dangerous to be by yourself. Personally, I always go to conventions with either friends or most times my parents, which is probably the safest option, especially if you're young or if you look young. I've personally though found that I never have gotten into a weird situation when my parents are with me at a convention, but I've had a few weird instances when I'm just with my friends. So, be safe. And make sure you go with people you are comfortable, you can have a good time with. So I've had trust me, if you're with people that are gonna make it miserable, you're not gonna have fun at the convention. You're gonna have like a really bad time. Yeah, it's not good. And also just don't let people force you to go. I spoke about it in a post, in a reel, but I had an instance, I'm thankfully not in touch with this person anymore, but I had an instance where, I felt forced to go to a convention. I was not doing well mentally, and somebody made me feel like I had to go. I went, worst time I've ever had at a convention. It wasn't fun, and I don't know. I don't want to get too much into it, but the point is just don't let people, only go to the convention if you want to, and that's another reason why you have to go with people that you're gonna have a good time with. Have a designated person to help you with your costume. Cosplaying can be hard, I know that, but just say to a friend, or if you're going with your parents, say to somebody, hey, if I have an issue with my cosplay, can you help me out? Or like, can you hold my prop if I'm, trying to pay for something in Artist Alley? It's just really good to have that communication because cosplaying is hard and it's tiring, and you might need somebody to help you out with it. So wear a cosplay you can enjoy the con in, is safe, isn't uncomfortable. So when I say that, I mean you have to feel comfortable in the cosplay you're in. For instance, Lukua, she's very comfortable, but like I did my first year at Castle Point Anime Convention, I went as Princess Safia from High Class Homos. That cosplay, she's a big ball gown. It was super uncomfortable. I would never wear her to a convention again. So, just make sure what you're wearing is comfortable. And when I say is safe, I mean is safe for you, but also the people around you. If you have a cosplay with like big ass wings, you don't want to be hitting people with your wings. You might hurt somebody, might break your cosplay. It's just not worth it. And again, you don't want to be uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, you're not going to have a good time. Look up the cosplay guidelines. Especially if you want to cosplay something that's not safe for work, make sure that's allowed at the convention. Some conventions are family safe, and they're going to say, no, you may not pull up in a bunny suit. So make sure you're aware, and also for props, if you're a big prop person like I am, make sure you're looking that up, because I actually, like a month before Anime NYC, found out that wooden props are not allowed. So I had to mid-stop my big, the big weapon from Maki Zenin, and I had to start making a smaller prop for her that's made out of foam so it would be allowed in. You don't want your prop to be confiscated. If that happens, one of two things will happen. Either you will have to bring your prop back to your vehicle, which if you took the train, you're going to see a big issue, or any type of public transport, you're seeing the issue right now. or they are going to take that from you and they are going to throw it away, and that's hours of your hard work being thrown in the garbage. So just don't do it. Okay, figure out if you are comfortable with pictures. So the answer for this can change throughout the day. Like if one person asks you for a picture and they seem super nice, you might be like, yeah, I'm comfortable with pictures. And if a creep asks you for a picture, you might be like, no, I'm not doing that. But remember, it's okay to say no to a picture. It's perfectly fine. You can always say no to the pictures. And if you are comfortable with pictures, or you might be, come up with some poses, some go-to poses that you're gonna do. Some that if the person wants a picture with you, and some of if they just want a picture of you. Just have those in mind so they don't get like a really bad picture of you, or like an awkward picture of you. Okay. This is a big one that I only recently figured out. Pack a wig head or the wig bag with you. So if it's a wig that doesn't have a lot of styling and you can just throw it right in the bag, you're not using this wig again for a while, do that. But if you're like me, where like the wig has so much styling, or maybe you're using it again in a few weeks, you're gonna want to put it on the wig head. But what this is for is, especially if so this doesn't really work with public transport, but if you drove to the convention and you have your wig headache and you want to take this thing off, you're gonna want somewhere to put it. Because if you're like me, you're not gonna just want to throw it somewhere. You're gonna be obsessed with, where's my wig going? And this just goes in general with conventions, cosplay or not, but especially in cosplay, because cosplay is tiring to be in. Stay hydrated and make sure you're eating. This is a very, very important thing, okay? Because you don't want to be passing out in cosplay. Cosplaying's hot, and yeah, hot as in you're gonna get sweaty and shit, not hot as in like, looking good. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to the one I forgot, which is community, as in the cosplay community. Cosplay isn't a competition. Don't go comparing yourself to other cosplayers. I said this in another video I made, but when you cosplay, it's like, so for instance, when you look at fan art, if you look at all different artists drawing Lukua, they're all gonna be recognizable as Lukua, but she's gonna be in different art styles, so she's gonna look a little different. So the same thing goes for cosplay. Think of each cosplayer as their own art style. So the character looks a little different on each person, but they're still recognizable. And that's a big part of why don't compare yourself to others. One, you might make yourself feel bad, or you might make other people feel bad. It's just not worth it. And that goes into, you can cosplay the same character as someone else, just in general, but even more, I don't care if it's your mutual, I don't care if it's your friend, I don't care if it's your partner. You guys can cosplay the same characters. Nobody owns a character. They are free for anyone to cosplay. So don't let anyone say to you, you can't cosplay Lukua because I cosplay Lukua. If anyone says that to you, don't interact with that person anymore, please. Find a healthy cosplay environment. So kind of like how we were talking about the convention thing before. Don't hang out with people that are gonna make you feel forced to go to conventions. Don't hang out with people that are gonna force you into doing certain cosplays or taking certain cosplay pictures, or just make you feel bad about yourself and your cosplay work. Take part in collaborations. This is a great way to meet people and a great way to, be a part of the cosplay community. Personally, right now, I am hosting a collaboration that's gonna be posted around in October. I'm doing a villains collaboration. I'm also currently in a Project Sekai, Vocaloid collaboration, and a Demon Slayer collaboration. And I've met so many nice people through doing collaborations. And you also get to work with people that you're already mutuals with. It's just really great. Okay, so group cosplay. Group cosplay can be really fun, but it can also be a pain. So there's a lot of things that you need to be aware of. I've done many group cosplays, and there's just a lot to know if you're gonna do it. So first of all, make sure it's clear what character you are cosplaying. You don't want to make or buy a cosplay of the wrong character. Also, you want conversation to be good and clear. Like, you don't want, for instance, if I'm doing a dragon maid, group cosplay. I don't want to think, all right, I'm cosplaying Luca Watt. I have Luca Watt. I don't need to buy anything. And then someone else to say, no, I'm being Luca Watt. I thought you were being Kana. Because now, I'm put in this awkward situation. And again, you can, in a group cosplay, it depends on the group. Some groups are fine with having duplicates of certain characters. Some would rather have all the different characters. But, you just want to be aware of what's going on. Make sure plans are clear and for sure before you spend money on the cosplay. So, of course, unless if you're like, well, I want to cosplay this character anyway, and I don't really care if I'm doing it with the group or not, then go right ahead, buy that cosplay. But if you're like, I want to do it with a group, and I'm just going to buy it if this group's doing it, make sure that group's doing it. Maybe don't even buy it until there's set plans. You just don't want to be, wasting money on something that you're not going to get use out of. So make sure you are comfortable with the people in the group. If anyone in that group makes you uncomfortable, it's probably not a good cosplay environment. You're constantly going to be walking on eggshells. You're not going to have a good time. It's one thing if it's just like, oh, they're not my best friend. But I don't think you should ever be cosplaying with somebody that makes you feel uncomfortable, especially considering that, cosplay pictures, you really need to be working with this person to get good content. Okay. Make sure everyone is comfortable with the media being posted. So, sometimes we take photos or videos because they're fun, just funny, shits and giggles, but somebody might be okay with taking the video, but not be okay with you posting that video. So, just communication is everything. Make sure everyone's comfortable with everything before you post it. So tag, give credit to everyone in the group. This includes photographers, if there's any specified photographer that was taking pictures for you. And again, with permission. So when you're posting things, you need to tag these cosplayers. Again, only if they're comfortable with being tagged in a photo. And you also need to just give credit to everyone. And that includes if you guys hired a photographer, that photographer needs to be credited. So remember that everyone in the cosplay doesn't need to, in the group, doesn't need to do the same thing. So for instance, if I'm buying my cosplay, but you're making your cosplay, and the other person in our group is doing a closet cosplay, that's okay. We don't all need to do the same thing. Also, I could have my makeup done, and you could be, I can have my makeup done like this, and you could be doing full-on makeup, and another person can be doing no makeup. I could have a wig like this. You could have a paper wig. Somebody else could be wearing no wig. It doesn't matter. You can't control what other people in your group do when it comes to, actually getting their cosplay and how they're going to get it. And if people are judging you for what you want to do with your cosplay, it's probably not a good group to be with. So you don't have to take pictures you are uncomfortable with. And don't force others to take pictures they are uncomfortable with. No means no. I don't care if you are cosplaying as a couple, and let's just say you guys just aren't a couple in real life, and if the person you're cosplaying with wants to get a kissing photo, and if you're not comfortable getting a kissing photo, say no. And if you're the person that wants that photo, you have to accept what the other person sent out. And that's just it, okay? This goes with any photos that could be, even if it's something you don't think would be uncomfortable, if the other person isn't comfortable doing it, you're not doing it. End of story. Okay, don't compare yourself to other members of the group or members of the group to each other. So this is kind of like what I said before, but don't be like, oh, well, so-and-so is so good at makeup and so-and-so kind of sucks at it. Or, I wish I was as good at styling wigs at so-and-so. Because everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. So that brings me to our next thing. Learn from each other. If you love how someone in your group does makeup, ask them to teach you how to do it. Don't start putting yourself or others down because of you want to raise somebody else up. That doesn't do anything for anyone. So our next thing is cosplaying in public. By this I mean not at conventions. I mean at public places like malls. I actually have a video I'm planning for you guys about this. That's horror stories about cosplaying in public, about me. Okay, so make sure you are comfortable being in public in cosplay. And by that, I also mean the cosplay you are wearing. Because you might be like, oh yeah, I don't really care if people are staring at me. But now what if but maybe you don't want to be cosplaying Mitsuri, where you have this big opening on your chest. I've done that though. But anyway, so, just make sure you're comfortable and you are aware that you're going to get stared at. Some people are going to check you out, and some people are going to give you dirty looks. And some people are going to look at you like you're the coolest person they've ever seen. But you have to be prepared for all of it. And don't go alone. So if you want to cosplay in public, maybe go with a family member, go with a friend. Even if the other person's not in cosplay, you just don't want to be walking around, in cosplay, especially with certain characters, or just at all, where it's not safe. And no safe places that are located where you are that you can go if something happens. For instance, if I cosplay in the mall a lot, and if I start feeling uncomfortable, I will go into a store. The ideal stores in malls to go into are obviously Hot Topic, Newbury Comics, Box Lunch, because all the nerds are there, and the staff there will help you. The staff in Hot Topic has always made me feel comfortable about being a cosplay in the mall. But also know where security is located in case something happens. Okay. Remember, you have to be careful not to get strangers in content. If you happen to get a stranger in your content, blur them out before you post it, please. At conventions, it's obviously still like a big no-no, but at conventions, people are more like, well, if I'm standing around here and if that person's taking a video, I might be in the back of their video. People expect that. But in public, people absolutely do not expect to be posted on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or whatever later. So, just try not to get people in the back of your media, and if you do, blur them out for their privacy. And just be aware of your surroundings. Be aware if people are looking at you weird, if somebody is walking very close to you, just anything bad. And also be aware of people taking pictures without your permission. I've had many instances when I am in public and with groups, and one of the people in my cosplay group will be like, that girl's taking pictures of us without our permission. Personally, because of just everything going on with me, it's very hard for me to pick up on stuff like that. But it's something that you should be aware of. Now, to end this off, just some general tips that didn't really fit into any of the categories. Quality over quantity. So this comes to your costumes, your wigs, anything really. It's better to have good quality stuff than have a bunch of very low quality, cheap cosplays, okay? So that's just a big thing. And also, closet cosplay is valid and is a great way to start. I have many cosplays, but this cosplay is a closet cosplay. There's nothing wrong with closet cosplaying. If anything, it's really smart, and it's a really great way to be able to cosplay your favorites without having to spend a bunch of money. Don't compare yourself to others. We already talked about that. Every cosplayer is almost like their own art style, and comparing yourself to others is just going to make you uncomfortable, and even the person you're comparing yourself to uncomfortable if they're aware of it. So let's just not do that. Look up tutorials on everything. There's tutorials on how to make costumes. There's tutorials on wigs. There's tutorials on makeups. And it will help you greatly. Don't be scared to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have to wash off your makeup 5 times. It took me forever to learn how to do makeup, and I still suck at it. It's okay to cut that wig too short and to have to start again. We've all been there. It's okay to mess up. And don't beat yourself up over messing up, because the only way to learn is to mess up. Cosplay what you want, even if there's no demand for it. So recently, one of my biggest hyperfixations has been Danganronpa, specifically the second game. And right now, there's really no demand for Danganronpa. Danganronpa is dead and gone. But I still wanted to cosplay from it, so I did. And it actually did really well. But even if it didn't do well, that wasn't going to stop me from cosplaying Danganronpa. Because it's very important to cosplay what's going to bring you joy over what's going to, be popular on social media. take breaks when needed. If you need to take a hiatus or if you need to stop cosplaying for a little bit, it's okay. You have to take care of yourself first. That's what's most important. And lastly, the most important thing is you have to have fun. Cosplay, it's not a job, it's not work. It's supposed to be fun, okay? So let's all have fun. Let's all try our best. I hope this video was helpful, at least a little bit. Thank you all for watching. I love you all so much. And yeah, if you're new here, again, hi, I'm Allie. You can follow me over on Instagram with the same name, allie.art3. Please consider subscribing, comment, like the video, whatever. But yeah, I love you all so much. Bye!